For me, when winter is knocking and the windows start getting cold and you're turning on the radiator, you need, every once in a while, you need to light the fire, pour yourself a dark glass of beer.
Oh.
And we're back.
We're back. Hello, Richard.
Hello. What's your name again?
I'm Daniel.
Daniel, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And hello, you. Welcome back to the Craftbeer channel here with us. We are a small brewery from Switzerland telling our beer story and sharing our beers we do. And today, it's a nerdy talk about the Imperial Stout.
For me, when winter is knocking and the windows start getting cold and you're turning on the radiator, you need, every once in a while, you need to light the fire, pour yourself a dark glass of beer.
Oh. And today, I'm actually going to start a Schmine at home.
Schmine.
Yeah.
What's this?
Schmine is the fire.
Okay.
The fireplace in
Yep.
the house.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open one of these. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. You have a
Uh,
bit of history about this beer first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Imperial Stout, I don't know. To me,
Cheers. Cheers.
yeah. So to me, it's going to be, if you're going to go back in history, Imperial Stout would have been produced in Britain.
One moment. It's unpolite if you cheers with
Oh.
me and don't drink.
The Swiss and their drinking rules.
They are-
Sorry, I didn't say your name either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The history I know. I'll caveat that. But
Uh-oh.
basically what you had was in the Baltics, they grew wonderful oak for aging beer. And the British used this Baltic oak extensively to age all sorts of beers, not just dark beers. And back in the day, before stainless steel and modern fabrication with metal, almost everything was fermented and aged in wood.
So these are the barrels Asterix and Obelix are swimming in with the triple X on it.
Exactly.
You remember?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Appetit schon am Marsche, Wechsel, Kummer und Sorge. Schlimm ist für mich, erste Bürgerpflicht, ohne Appetit geht's nicht.
So what you had was the British were really known, and still are, known for their dark beers. Samuel Smith is one that pops out. There's a couple, traditional breweries that have been around for a long time making strong dark beers. And what you had was in the Baltic regions, in Russia particular, I've always heard the full name of Imperial Stout as Russian Imperial Stout. And the name for that is, even though it was produced in Britain, the vast majority of the export was to Russia, where they really liked these. I mean, it's cold, it's dark.
Absolutely.
So they really had a big taste for these big, strong beers. This beer is going to clock in right at 10%. Some Imperial Stouts are known to go up to 13, more modern ones. And I mention that because not only is it just a strong beer that really warms the cheeks, but that alcohol is a component of the flavor for me for these beers. It's got a heat to it, which is really pleasant.
But it's not boozy.
No. I mean, you get a little bit, but no, I don't think there's much legging on the glass. You can see it's a thick beer. It ferments at a much higher terminal gravity, so there's a good amount of residual sugar left after fermentation, and that alcohol really helps cut the sweetness, makes it balanced. They're also surprisingly hoppy. This beer is almost 60 IBU. Mm-hmm. And again, the high amount of hops, the high amount of booze, and the high residual sweetness from the malt all come together to really balance out this beer. So it's quite a unique taste. I love the I love that the brown head that you got on it. You can see how much extra modified dark malt there is. We used roasted malt, chocolate malt, and Carafa 3, which is a dehusked dark malt from Germany that gives a ton of color but not a ton of flavor. But the coffee malt and the chocolate malt really help, as well as I keep the roasted malt to a sort of slightly lower percentage than maybe a lot of people do, because I like the sort of raisin and sweet character that you get from some of the other malts, and it lets that kind of coffee and dark chocolate shine through.
There's also, for me, something berrying going on.
Yeah, you get a kind of a blackberry, raisin.
Yeah,
raisin.
dark berries. Yeah, raisin.
Yeah. In the English sense, not the French sense. Yeah, dried fruits, date. And then what we did with this beer, just to have a little fun, was we added raw cacao nibs to the cold aging, which really rounds it out. Cacao has that wonderful chocolate flavor, but none of the sweetness. So you get that really round, nice chocolate to kind of combine all those elements together. And yeah, it's a great beer for this time of year.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And it's completely dark. I mean, if I go... nothing comes through. I mean, it's just opaque.
Yep, completely. And
really,
for me, that's
really nice.
Yeah, this is a nice beer for a treat. You know, cuddle down with a warm blanket and a book, and have a bottle of this, and you'll be feeling no pain.
I get that it's not every man's and every woman's beer. When I brought that home first, my wife took a sip and she said, "Oh, Jesus, no." No way. And then suddenly, because it's not something you drink fast, it can sit in the glass for 1-2 hours easily.
Oh yeah.
You can really drink it like a wine.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you discover something.
Yeah.
It's like that. I'm gonna have another sip.
We call that moreish. It begs for a little bit more. You know, it's sort of like when you try anything, like, you know, when you have a strong cheese for the first time, you are initially like, oh, I don't know if that's for me. But then there's some little part of your brain that's tickled, and then you're reaching for a little bit more and a little bit more. And
Speaking of which, how you combine it.
Yeah.
So strong cheese is really great. I'm a lot in the mountains, and Valaisan friend from me always orders Imperial Stout when there is some, because he says to the cheese plate it's just a dream.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, charcuterie, anything fatty or sharp. It really helps round out. It's a nice palate cleanse. It really complements. Yeah.
And then also sweets.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm not talking about Haribo.
Although,
Hey,
you know,
can.
yeah, actually.
But dark chocolate stuff, mousse au chocolat, or dark chocolate cake.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pair really, really good. And then again, it's a beer you drink slow, you enjoy. It's another drinking experience.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm sorry, previously I said Sam Smith. What I meant was Thomas Hardy's. And I bring that up.
I was
thinking
of.
Yeah, Sam Smith is
and
brown
I said,
ale, sorry.
No. I'm not the nerd here.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
no,
Sam Adams, is that not Australian?
No. That's America. But
okay.
Samuel Adams was one of our
Still
founding
good
fathers.
that I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I see the Sam Adams.
Yeah. But Thomas
label.
Hardy is the beer that I was thinking about. I think it's one of the oldest known styles still in production from that time. And I actually have a bottle of Thomas Hardy's from 1985, my birth year, that I'm going to drink when I'm 40. And the great thing about these beers is because they feature so much modified malt, they're high in alcohol. If stored properly, where it's not too moist or too warm, these beers will age almost indefinitely. They age out very well, and sort of the sharper notes from the hops and the alcohol mellow and really kind of homogenize over time in a really lovely way. And so with our IPAs and our hoppy beers, we always say, drink it fresh, keep it cold. These beers are much more forgiving, and you could drink this in a year's time and still have an absolutely wonderful beer. Easily, yeah. I would say 5 years easily in the type of bottle and crown closure that we have.
And dark.
Yeah. Store it in the dark, keep it cool, keep it dry, so the cap stays intact, and this beer will age for years to come. That was actually a really interesting little historical thing. Is a lot of the aristocrats in Britain would have their heir, their eldest son would be born, and they would brew an Imperial Stout and age it in barrels until the heir came of age, and then they would drink it. So anywhere from 16 to 20 years old, say, they would be drinking these beers.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it takes a lot of malt, a lot of time to make these beers, and so they're perfect for a special occasion. So if you just had your heir born, please consider picking up a bottle.
Take a Imperial Stout. It's in our winter collection, so it's a seasonal beer, and there's not much of it around. So order your bottles if you want some. Then probably you have to wait for another year that it comes back.
Yeah.
Or you come to one of our beer festivals. We have some.
Yeah, we got a couple kegs kicking around. Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for this fabulous beer.
I can feel it already.
Yeah.
The cheeks.
Yeah. It knocks. I always say knocks from the back.
Yeah, for sure.
Make sure to subscribe. That hit button.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button. And
I think the kids are saying smash the subscribe button.
Okay,
I think that's the term.
I have to train this more.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for this beer. Have a nice evening, day, whatsoever.
Cheers.
Cheers.